Good morning. It's again time for Stuff God Said and Wants Us to Keep on Saying. I'm going to read from Romans, the 8th chapter and the 28th verse. Hear the word of the Lord. We know that all things work together for good, for those who love God, who are called according to his purpose. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading of the word. We know that all things work to our good if we allow those things to work to good through our faith and trust and hope in God. But let me tell you a little story about an African tour guide. He never admitted that he lied about his adventures or anything, but someone used to say, well, that man just remembers big. At any rate, they were walking through this jungle area, and he came to a place. He said, right here is where I outswam a crocodile. And then he went on a little further, and he said, hey, right here is where I outwitted this charging rhino. And they walked on a little further, and he said, hey, right here is where I got away from a big ferocious lion. And someone said, well, you outswam the crocodile, and you outwitted the charging rhino. How'd you get away from the lion? And the guy pointed up, and there was a tree branch about 20 feet above him. And the people in the tour said, wait a minute, you mean you jumped up and caught that tree branch? And he says, well, I didn't get it on the way up, but I did catch it on the way back down. Now, that's truly remembering big, isn't it? But spiritually, we kind of do that with our spiritual lives. When we're going up, everything is so good, we don't have anything, we don't need anything to grab onto, we think. And we go flying right by what it is that we should be holding on to. And it's not until we start tumbling down that we start reaching out to grab for something, to grab for God. Wouldn't it make more sense if we just maintained our discipline and our faith and strengthened our spirit on the way up when things are really great and things are going so well? We still do the things that feed our spirit, the things that we can have that build our trust and our faith. All the disciplines that we know so well. Why do we wait until we're tumbling down? If we maintain that discipline, if we maintain that love of Jesus Christ, if we maintain our strength and our courage in God, even when we start tumbling, we'll always have that branch. We'll have God and our faith and our trust in God to grab onto. It just seems to make more sense to always be ready for that and not to put God second as we're climbing to wherever it is we think we're climbing. May God bless us.